Ladies and gentlemen, back in the building for another reaction. This time we will be reacting to Did Fame Get the Best of Dej Loaf? Video from Stunted Growth. The brother Stunted Growth. He has a regular channel where he does basketball content, and he also has a Stunted Growth music channel where he talks about people who were in the spotlight as musicians but fell from the star that they had become for various reasons. And today we will be looking at Dej Loaf. If y'all know or remember who that is, Dej Loaf. Let's get it poppin'.
If you ever disrespect, hold your thought, eat this tech, do more, talk less.
Deja Monet Trimble, born April 8th, 1991. One thing I love about music is the rare times when you come across an artist that's totally different from everyone else. They might have a few things similar to someone else, but their total package and what they bring to music overall is something never before seen. Ice Spice isn't famous or had success because she's a great rapper. Actually, her skills is probably the least memorable thing about her, with all due respect. But you have to admit that when she came into the game, we hadn't seen an image like hers or shy confidence in her sexuality like hers. And for that reason, she lasted as long as she did and has a chance to carve out a lane in pop culture. Dej Loaf, no question, is another great example, but only her talent was immediate and evident as soon as she opened her mouth. Her voice is like nothing else in that it's so soothing and nonchalant, confident but not loud, and puts you in a mood is the best way I can explain it. Couple that with the words she's actually saying that are quite the opposite from her unassuming voice. Lyrics of not being the one to mess with, and the extent she's willing to...
I ain't gonna lie, for some reason she reminds me of Lola Brooke. Anybody remember Lola Brooke? Lola Brooke was a female rapper. She was, I don't think was, she is like with, what's that dude's name? King Los. And I remember her and him were like a couple back then. And, you know, she was a fire spitter, but of course, you know, she stopped rapping for reasons of probably maybe, you know, label situations and things like that. But I liken that woman Lola Brooke to Dej Loaf, you know. Sometimes it just don't work out. It just doesn't work out in your favor as far as music goes.
Take the violence, maybe not her, but certainly able to get it done if need be. Then there's her style, which is also fresh and right on time, as this slender, small in stature female whose mannerisms exude swagger, for lack of a more modern word, and cool as ice. She doesn't need all the jumping up and down, extreme rapper hands and hip movements to get her point across, which is why I think males took to her just as much as females did. She's like one of the guys, but not in need of being all in the videos, all in the spotlight, and it makes her seem easy to be around and easy to interact with.
Facts. All
these qualities added to the uniqueness Dej Loaf brought to the table, not to mention the name itself, which starts the conversation with the usual question, what the f is a Dej Loaf? In 2014, she rose to almost immediate fame behind the ultra-catchy hit single Try Me that encompasses every quality mentioned about Dej Loaf, easy to sing along to by anyone, and stormed up the rap charts, peaking at number 8 and top 50 in the country. The year closed without an album released from the hottest new rapper in the game at the time, and 2015 brought even more success with 2 platinum singles, Hey There with Future, and one of my favorite Dej Loaf songs and collabs, Back Up with Big Sean, and also the XXL Freshman List. 2015 closed as well without an album, but an EP.
You know, it's mad people on the XXL Freshman List that just like vanished into thin air. Like seriously, bro, where is Don Tripp? Where is Don Tripp? Where is what happened to Pill? Like, there are like a bunch of just rappers of the XXL just disappeared, bro. Where is Tito Lopez? It's a bunch of them, man. Like, man, when they make them disappear, when it's, I feel like it's when they get like shelved. That's where the problems really start. They shelve their music, and then after that, you just don't hear from them again. That's another dang thing.
EP filled with promise. Her debut album wouldn't release for 6 years after
Oh
her
my God.
initial fame,
6
and it would be her
years?
only studio album ever released. For as unique
6
as Days Loaf
years?
came into the game, to her only releasing one album and
Dang.
sprinkles of music in between, the second question about Days is what happened to her musically. Let's
Nah,
talk
facts.
about it. Salute to Heisenberg, SG7MC for this
My
request.
goodness,
It's your boy Jason
6
Stunted with
years?
Music. Take a minute to like,
They
subscribe,
put out her
and
album
comment
for
on
si-
what you
that's
do next.
crazy.
Days Loaf is a
6
rapper from
years is
Detroit,
crazy,
Michigan
bro.
that grew up in the hood, as she describes it, being an environment of trauma and extreme paranoia. Shortly after her father died when Days was just 4 years old, she moved in with her grandmother, who she describes as not your regular cane-toting grandma. She allegedly sold drugs and was known in the streets. Days, on the other hand, was quiet and coy about her passion for music and wanted to one day become a rapper. She'd spend 3 semesters in college before dropping out to focus on music. After the release of her Just Do It mixtape, she attracted the attention of Say It Ain't Home, famous for his work with Big Sean and his label and management team.
I wouldn't be surprised if she decided she wanted to be like a label executive or, do some A&R work. Another rapper I used to be into is now an A&R, I believe. What's his name? Little Bibby. Little Bibby just said, forget about doing music. I am going to be an A&R. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she would be doing right now.
IGBM. He says he could see she was a star and had a vision for her becoming that. Days releases Try Me late 2014, and it brought the fame she asked for, but was nothing like she expected, and admitted most of the time it was a difficult experience to deal with. She signed a major deal with Columbia Records in hopes to take her career to another level, but for these reasons, things didn't go as planned. Stunt number 1, the delay of her debut album.
Bro, 6 years for an album release.
One of the
is
unspoken
crazy.
rite of passages for artists is releasing a successful body of work in the form of an official album. This solidifies that the success of your hit single and music wasn't a fluke and shows you can be more versatile than just a catchy single and personality. Try Me, when it came out, was a nationwide hit song. Even Drake quoted the lyrics on Instagram, along with more celebrities coming out to recognize the new artist, a part of the XXL freshman class. It was certified in the clubs, and Deja's personality and style made her an even more interesting artist. Releasing the song October in the year, it wasn't expected she released an album the same year, with the singles still climbing and areas of the world she hadn't even touched yet. But when 2015 came and went without an album, it's like the excitement began to die down. She still released music and even an EP in 2015 with 2 platinum singles that could have easily carried an album. Backup itself was ultra popular and right on time, featuring one of the hottest rappers in the game, Big Sean, also a Detroit native, who Dej has been compared to in style and look since coming into the game. They both starred on that song, but somehow the ball was dropped on capitalizing off the popularity of the.
This is a popular case of the label not marketing her enough, and after not marketing her enough, not knowing what to do with her. That's what it sounds like.
The song, and her being a part of the controversial but popular XXL freshman class by releasing her commercially awaited album. 2016 came and went with no music at all. Then 2017, a gold single popped up showing there was still interest in her sounds, but again,
She didn't have no music out in 2016. They didn't let her drop any music in 2016. What's going on?
album. 2018,
Why?
another non-album, non-charting single before separating from Columbia Records in
My
2019. In 2020, she released her debut album independently, but
In
by then, her
2020?
buzz had completely gone cold with the music
crazy.
and socially. It didn't hit the charts, and none of the songs made a lasting impact, enough to motivate her to continue dealing with all that comes with being a rapper. It's one of those situations where being on a major label
That's sad.
wasn't beneficial to the artist, and it stunted her growth in a time she was hot. Stunt number 2, fame was a bigger issue than expected. What comes with being interesting is constant attention and people wanting to know the intimate details that make you who you are. An elephant in the room with Dej Loaf since the beginning has been her sexuality and whether she preferred this side
Wasn't
or that
she
side.
with Lil
And
Durk
maybe
at
it's
some
one of the
point?
reasons she moved closed door to things like interviews and being spontaneously asked questions about who she is, along with being active on social media. That and not being used to being in the spotlight, growing up as quiet little Deja. She was excited to finally make something of herself and break through with her music, but what came with fame and being an interesting artist was a
Bro, being famous is not for everybody. Fame is not something a lot of artists can adjust to. Some people just want to make the music, mind their business, avoid doing interviews, and avoid being on social media. There's actually artists out there who do that. Like barely get on social media, release music, and that's all it is from them. Nothing else. However, that's how you can feel. But however, in a world where you're famous, you have to be engaging for some reason. I mean, well, it's depending on who we thinking of. I mean, come on, Future. When Future first came out, there was no type of interview on this guy. He was just making music. Weeknd has no type of interviews out there. He's just making music. Even to this day, this man doesn't do like video interviews. He does like magazine interviews. Bryson Tiller never wanted to be on camera when he did interviews. So that tells you that he doesn't like doing interviews. There are a lot of artists that do not like doing interviews. They don't want to give another side of who they are to an interviewer because for one reason or another. Sometimes it could be a thing of like, oh, hey, I don't like interviews because all interviewers ask me the same exact dang questions. Matter of fact, now that I look at it, somebody like Tyler, the Creator, I don't see Tyler, the Creator really doing interviews. Well, he used to be sick of doing interviews because they would ask him the same thing. I'm sure now he's very picky and selective about who he does an interview with because he knows who's going to ask him the same exact questions and who's not going to ask him the same exact questions. So, some people, that fame machine is not built for everybody. And this is one of those cases.
Constant pressure to project a perfect image at all times and never having the public space to just enjoy life. Also, the pressures of dealing with the industry all drove Dej into a depression familiar to her since a child, dealing with her father being killed right outside the apartment she stayed in.
Man.
Her mom wasn't in the mental state to take care of her, leading to separating from her and moving in with her grandmother, who was very strict and serious. She wanted to be recluse, but the industry wanted more Dej Loaf. She even threatened to retire in 2021 after her career wasn't going as expected.
Dang.
She describes fame as something she had to adapt to. People constantly watching, keeping her from living and being herself.
Wow.
She feels she couldn't be 100% happy in the light, and it hurt her music and place in the industry. Stunt number 3, not enough output.
Well, yeah, there's that too, yeah.
Everything said leads to one conclusion and bottom line. Dej Loaf hasn't and doesn't release enough music. It could be past label situations that's jaded her, or the difficulties of being an independent artist, trauma in her life she's still dealing with, or reasons only
isn't it a thing of like, if you're an indie artist, you have to use your own money, right? So I mean, maybe the money she has versus the money she needs to put out music is just like, it's not balancing out. Man, this is sad. I ain't gonna lie. This is sad.
Understands. But what's apparent and true about the entertainment industry is it only respects the ones that can stay above water.
Facts.
You don't always have to have your own wave or be riding someone else's, but you have to be a voice present at all times, able to satisfy your current fans and always be attracting new ones. Dej Loaf is a nice artist. Her music is like a whole vibe.
I wish he did like a stunted growth on a Rich Boy, because this mirrors back to like somebody like Rich Boy who got tossed off his label for making too much music. They took him off the label for like, if you can go find it on YouTube. I think I might react to it. But he got pushed off his label because he had too much music. When you put out too much music, that indicates that the label don't know what to do with you. The label doesn't know what to do with you versus somebody who doesn't put out enough music. But I mean, I can see why somebody who signed somewhere doesn't get a chance to put out enough music, because the label is like, no, you can't put it out. No, you're not going to put it out. We're not going to allow you to put it out. Let's just wait it out and see. Like, nah, man. Nah, you're sabotage. After a while, it just looks like sabotage. holding somebody up from putting out music, man. And then their the confidence to put out music after they leave a label is like, listen, my morale is down because I was with the label and they was telling me I can't put out music. Now it makes it look like my music is bad or something like that, and I'm off the label now. But still, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a sad one, man.
Vibe to get into, and fans clearly appreciate her and wants her to continue, but
No,
possibly
facts. She
turn
need to
all the way
continue,
up when
bro.
it comes to work ethic and releasing music,
need to continue,
or more
bro.
just being a presence in the
Keep
game.
going, bro.
But as she expressed, she doesn't like social media and struggles with all the attention and pressure to always look your best,
And I get
even
that.
when inside you're struggling with abandonment, trust issues, and lack of enthusiasm for being famous. She
Man.
released a single called I'm Back in 2022 that showed she still had that infectious voice and delivery, promising to race to the money, but not much has happened since. All in all, Loaf is a dope artist that can always have a place in the game because of her gifts, but she has to believe it herself and maybe deal with the inner struggles she has before she can blossom like everyone believes she can. Here's to her realizing that in time. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, her growth musically has been stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.
She got a glimpse of what the industry was and was like, yeah, I can't handle all of this. I'm not rocking with it. I can't handle all of this, and y'all might not never see me again, man. Y'all probably not gonna get a lot of input out of me just because of how the industry has ruined me, man. I hate that though. Shout out to Loaf, man.